The rock that finally cracked. Tonight, my friend, the tavern has drifted into a quiet town named Nesmith at the edge of nowhere. Alex nudges me and murmurs, "Lion, someone's coming in who's been holding up too much for too long." And I see him. A man whose shoulders were wide enough to carry the world and tired enough to prove that he already had. His smile was polite, his voice steady, but his eyes held the truth no one had bothered to look for. If you've ever been the person everyone leans on, the one who listens, holds, fixes, reassures, this story is for you. Because even the strongest rock will crack if no one ever asks how it is doing. Sit close, traveler. Tonight's tale is about the danger of being everyone's safe place and never having one of your own. His name was Rylan. In his village, people said, "When something breaks, take it to Rylan. When trouble rises, call Rylan. When hearts shatter, Rylan knows what to do." And he did. He comforted grieving parents, calmed angry neighbors, repaired broken fences, listened to friends cry at midnight, then woke before dawn to help someone move their belongings. He was the village's rock, the one stable place in a world that shook too easily. But here is the part no one saw. Every time he held someone else's pain, he set aside his own. Every time he cleaned up someone's emotional storm, he let his own gather clouds. He became fluent in other people's suffering and illiterate to his own. When he finally walked into the Lion's Tavern, his voice didn't tremble, but something inside him did. "Lion," he said quietly, "I don't know who I am when I'm not helping someone else." His hand shook when he said it, the first visible crack in the unbreakable rock. If you've ever felt this way, like you had to be strong for everyone, take a moment to like the video or subscribe. It helps keep the tavern doors open for every weary traveler seeking rest. Now, let's follow Rylan deeper into his story. One day, something finally changed. Not dramatically, not all at once. It was small, subtle, but sharp, like a splinter in the heart. A childhood friend came to him, crying again, for the fourth time that week, and Rylan, who never snapped, never raised his voice, never said no, felt something inside him twist. He sat with her, nodded when she needed nodding, held her when she needed holding, but afterward, he walked home and didn't recognize the person staring back at him in the mirror. He wasn't angry at her. He wasn't angry at anyone. He was just empty. He couldn't remember the last time someone asked him how he felt. He couldn't remember the last time he cried, or slept well, or took a day off, or was allowed to be human. The rock was wearing thin. He told me, "Lion, I think I'm disappearing inside other people's storms." And then the breaking point. A villager knocked at his door late at night, asking for help with something trivial, something they could have solved themselves. Rylan opened his mouth to say yes, but absolutely nothing came out. No strength, no comfort, no voice. He had given away all of his words, all of his energy, all of his compassion. He realized that when you're everyone's source of support, you become no one's priority, not even your own. That night, he walked away from the village, not because he wanted to abandon them, but because he finally understood they would never stop taking unless he learned how to stop giving. And that path, the one away from obligation, is the one that led him to me. Rylan sat at the end of the bar, staring into the warm drink I had placed in front of him. Steam coiled like soft fingers in the air. "Lion," he whispered, "what if I disappoint them by needing something?" I leaned in. "Rylan," I said, "you cannot disappoint people by being human, but you will destroy yourself by trying to be superhuman." His shoulders sagged for the first time in years. We talked for a long time about boundaries and fear and the guilt of saying no, and how hard it is to stop carrying the world when everyone has gotten used to you doing it. And then I told him, "Rylan, a rock doesn't exist to hold everyone else up. It exists to simply be, to rest in its own place, to let rivers, winds, and seasons touch it without needing to solve them." He cried, quietly, but deeply, not because he was weak, but because he had been strong for far too long. He stayed at the tavern for 3 days, slept, ate, talked, let himself be held up instead of holding up others. When he finally returned to his village, he came home not as their rock, but as their equal. He still helped people, but not at the cost of himself. He still listened, but listened to his own needs first. He still cared, but he stopped setting himself on fire to warm everyone else up. He became something far rarer than an emotional rock. He became a person with balance, someone who could give and receive, someone whole. My friend, if you are someone others rely on, if they come to you with their sorrows, their fears, their storms, remember this: strength does not mean carrying everything, and compassion does not mean never resting. You cannot be an anchor if you are sinking. You cannot be a shelter if you have no roof left. You cannot be a rock if you're slowly crumbling inside. Your needs matter. Your heart matters. Your rest matters. If you need permission to put the world down, take it from me. And if you can find comfort in this tale, leave a comment, share the story, or return anytime. Your old friend Lion will keep a seat warm for you whenever the weight becomes too heavy. Hey guys, Editing Lion here. Yeah, I wanted to talk about being the rock. being the boulder for someone else to lean on, always being there when needed. There is a great danger to this, my friend, because no one can sustain this type of life. Not forever. You can for decades, and I am proof of that, but not forever. You have to love yourself. You have to give yourself time to be a human being. You have to step away when you need to step away and relearn how to live again at times. It happens. It's nothing huge. And don't feel bad about it, like ever, okay? Don't feel bad about it. You are the rock, maybe, but you are not the rock always, okay? Give yourself a time to, breathe. Enjoy a cup of tea. Read a book. Step away. Go enjoy some nature because nature's pretty awesome. Well, okay, maybe not lately because where I live it's cold as heck. However, take some time to just be yourself. Let the burden down. You've got this. And as I like to say, you are the hero in your own story. So, instead of being a boulder, be a hero, okay? Take care of yourselves out there. Be well and stay awesome. The tavern doors will always be open to you with a hot or a cold beverage of your choice. But until then, goodbye.